Another great thing about the Mabry Monsters nightshades is that they come in a variety of sizes. They make an entire kit with, I don't forget how many ounces this is, I think it might be 4 ounces or so, an entire kit that comes with these, but all the way up to these 32-ounce jammers. These are the ones that I like to buy because we paint a lot of masks around here.
Yeah, it's honestly such a better solution than rubber cement paint. People used to paint masks with rubber cement paint. People still do sometimes for Halloween Horror Nights and such, but it's really toxic and bad for you if you don't know how to ventilate. So this is a great alternative. Just make sure you have some ventilation because latex, you know, in particles, it turns into a solid. Get you in airways and then you die.
Yeah, then you die. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah, definitely a safer alternative, and honestly, like, it sticks way better.
Yeah, but also be mindful that wherever you are going to be basing out your mask, there will be latex particles everywhere. Create some sort of a little ventilation thing, like he said. We, back in the day, would take a box fan, just a regular old box fan, and get like a 25 by 25 by 1 inch AC filter, and you tape it to the back of that box fan, and it sucks all that paint, and it just runs it right through that filter. And it cuts down on the amount of latex that's going out into the air and sticking to your walls and your floor and everything. So
wear a respirator too.
Wear a respirator, but get you a little box fan with an AC filter taped to it, and it works wonders, it really does. So last but not least, we're gonna talk about finishing masks.
There are 2 alternatives of how you should seal a mask. My personal favorite is using this like clear coat semi-gloss or matte. Don't spray a bunch on it because again, it will crack, and this is like a plastic. It's a plastic layer that's going on top of it, right? So if you spray too much, it's going to corrode or coagulate on there, whatever word you want to use, and it's gonna crack, and it's not gonna look pretty.
This one is a semi-gloss clear. This isn't our favorite. We generally like to use a matte. And so if you're gonna use a matte spray on your mask, it's gonna give it a nice flat, dull look. This is great for, like, you know, just basic Frankenstein-y type monsters. And again, it's just a light dusting. You gotta remember that this stuff right here is not flexible at all. So if you put too much, it will crack. You're gonna see it crack, and it's no bueno. It's a bad look for the mask. In terms of flexible sealants, we like to use a mixture of these 2 bad boys. So Liquitex High Gloss Varnish and Liquitex Gloss Medium. I will mix both of these in equal parts with just enough water, just regular water, that it's able to be passed through an airbrush. This stuff dries super shiny, great for slimy, gnarly looking zombies, super flexible. I love this stuff, I use it all the time. Liquitex also makes a matte medium. So if you wanted to completely bypass spray paints, I wish I could throw this.
Bong, bong.
If you wanted to bypass the spray paint, you could get a Liquitex matte medium. Add some water to it, pass that sucker through an airbrush, and you'll have a nice matte finish.
And again, it's a really good alternative to the E6000 method people talk about, where you like mix E6000 and like kerosene, not kerosene, or like naphtha or something like that. And what it does is it makes it really glossy and super flexible, but sometimes people just might not know how to mix that, or you know how to get the method to that. So this is a great alternative. And again, when you are sealing, do not go ham on it, especially with this. If you go too close or too much, it's gonna start beating up in certain spots, remember?
And dripping, yeah.
Yeah, I used to have that problem, and it used to beat up and white and stuff. It's not it.
And so like some of these methods that we use, we chose them because out of all of the options out there, these are pretty much the least toxic of the lot. So like the E6000, what were we mixing it with? 99% alcohol?
No, it was like naphtha.
Or lighter fluid or something?
All I'm saying is ventilation is key here for all this shit. Even if it's not as harmful, you still gotta be safe.
Yeah, put on a mask, for real.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, and especially in the world of monsters, a lot of people like a good blood, okay? And we've tried all kinds of blood recipes. We had one that we also learned from Ed Edmonds. So this, we are in no way, shape, or form being paid by Liquitex. But this Liquitex Gloss Heavy Gel, this stuff right here, if you mix a big old gob of this with just red food coloring, mix that sucker around and splatter on your mask, it is a really nice, shiny, flexible blood, okay? The only issue is you have to color correct the food coloring sometimes because it's a little too bright red. It's not a natural looking blood. It can be a pain in the ass. So we took the easy road. Work smarter, not harder.
Permablood.
Permablood.
This stuff is really sick, and it's plastic too. So when you put it on, it still has the same gloss and shape to it. It's kind of not a gel kind of blood. You can thin it out obviously with like some inks or not water though, right?
Not water, no.
Not water.
Not water. The reason I love Permablood is because yes, it's flexible, yes, it dries glossy, but it also dries really fast.
And the color is fucking amazing, in my opinion.
And they actually have different levels of blood, different levels of decay in the blood, right? So even if you don't like one of those colors, you can literally mix in like a little Liquitex acrylic brown with your Permablood and make a really cool decayed blood color.
It's great. Another alternative to this, if you cannot find it, I think they most likely put it out. It was Nightshade's Blood.
Oh yeah.
The thing that's really cool, I used to use it for little like wound detail and stuff in a mask, and it would dry translucent. So it would show your paintwork underneath while being that, and it's latex blood, so you can just peel it off, you know what I mean? It's great stuff. I don't know if it's on sale, but I have test tried it before, and I gotta say it's a really nice product. People have always asked people in the industry, how do you seal stuff? Like, how do you like gloss eyes, make stuff look all drooly and shiny and stuff? I use Gorilla Glue, this stuff right here. Don't buy the super glue, buy like this clear Gorilla Glue, bonds virtually to everything, blah, 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 blah.
It's gotta be clear.
It's gotta be clear. I mean, you can buy the brown stuff, and it looks cool for like a zombie that's drooling or anything like that, but don't use it as your main source of.
Yeah, so this brown stuff actually is kind of cool if you put it in a mouth or on some teeth. For some reason, it dries up all like bubbly, and like foamy.
Like during the hot seasons, from what we've seen, it bubbles up and it's really cool, but sometimes you may not get that effect, so don't rely on it too much, but sometimes you may get that effect.
Yeah, play around with it and see if you like it, but for the most part, get the clear Gorilla Glue. This stuff is the jam.
It's flexible.
It's flexible. Outside of this, before we got the lowdown from Pete and Felice from Devil's Workshop about clear Gorilla Glue, we were using 5-minute epoxy. Okay, so 5-minute epoxy is awesome. It takes a really long time before it starts to yellow, and yes, this stuff will yellow, but the issue is that it's not flexible. A while back, we were doing a show for Monster Day out in Greeley, Colorado.
Yep.
And it was like a kids type show, and so kids were walking up to our masks and grabbing the eyeballs and literally popping them, and you could hear it go and crack because that 5-minute epoxy, it has no give to it. It's just
plastic.
like a solid plastic, and these kids are like,
Yep.
yeah, and we're like cold sweats, like, oh God,
It's
I wish they would
so-
stop doing that.
It was bad, and especially too, it's like, it's good for display pieces, don't get me wrong on that. Like, it has a good shine, but in my opinion, Gorilla Glue is really sick. And like, if you're really scared about shipping these masks too, and you have 5-minute epoxy, there's a chance that it might get all folded up and...
Back to the 5-minute epoxy, if you do want to create a 5-minute epoxy gloss that is flexible, you can mix your equal parts of A and B on the epoxy and then add a dash of 99% alcohol, and it will make a flexible 5-minute epoxy gloss.
Yeah.
So totally doable, it's just more steps, more steps, more steps, where this is just
one go.
right out of the bottle onto a paintbrush and onto your mask, and you're like good to go. Yeah, and so like I said, this is like for basic beginner mask makers. This isn't the only way to do it. It's just the way that we like to do it. These are the products that we like to use, and they're the most effective and the easiest for us. But experiment. That's the only way that you're gonna get better at this stuff, is taking risks, making mistakes, trying out new stuff, see what you like, see what you hate. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's how we started. You know, just lots of money down the drain.
Here's a good piece of advice is I don't know where one is, but we generally keep like a terrible casting of a mask, like a shitty mask, and we test out all this stuff. Oh, what's this gonna look like?
Yeah.
And we'll just test stuff on eyes and teeth and base colors. So keep a nice shitty mask around to run your tests on, and that way you kind of know what you're about to get into.
Because I've made the mistake of testing new things on a painted mask that's for somebody, and I fucking ruin it, and I have to restart it all from scratch. It's horrible. So just have a blank laying around, experiment, do what you want, it's gonna be fine.
Hey guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Hopefully you learned a couple of things. Hopefully you're inspired to paint your own monsters. And like we said, This isn't the only way to paint a monster. This is just the way that we like to do it.
That's right. Learn and take what you want from this, man. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, there's more than one way to skin a cat, so find which way you like to skin yours, and let's make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, follow us on the socials, and Monster Kids for life!
And don't skin a cat, by the way.
No cat skinning. We gotta put a cat.